Radios, radios, radios. Radios come in all different shapes and sizes. I'm going to explain the differences between a radio from the 1930s and a radio from now. Radios from the 1930s were massive. Radios now are not. But in order to explain some more differences, I'm going to need to explain the schematics of a radio. This here's a schematic. Schematics are the parts of a radio put out to made to look simple. The scribbly line is an inductor. It makes the current constant. The equal sign with an arrow through it is the capacitor. It keeps the voltage constant. For each voltage there is a current. For each current there is a voltage. When they are offset, they create a radio wave. When the gap between the two is larger, the frequency is lower. When the gap between the two is smaller, the frequency is higher. This all happens because they can bounce back and forth between control faster or slower, depending on how the gap is. Some other differences between a radio from then and a radio from now is that radios from then had a much smaller range and a radio from now has a much larger range. One of the radios with the largest range in the US right now is the radio that runs our clocks. It broadcasts a pulse every second. It's called pulse modulation. With that, we can effectively keep time very constant. Some ways to make your common radio: you take a 9-volt battery and you take a coin and you tap it to the terminals of the 9-volt battery. It will create a small radio signal that you can only hear or receive when you're using an AM radio and you have it tuned to where you only hear static. So if I were to tap the coins to the terminal, you would hear a slight crackle. But since I don't have a coin right now or a battery right now, I've got to sit with how it is. The battery was short-circuited. That creates a radio wave. And with radios coming in all different shapes and sizes, people can experience many different things via radio. Radios, radios, radios.
Are you hanging on the edge of your seat? Out of the doorway, the bullets rip to the sound of the beat, yeah. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone, and another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Seat. Out of the doorway, the bullets rip to the sound of the beat, yeah. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone, and another one gone. Another one bites the dust, yeah. Hey. Out of the doorway, the bullets rip to the sound of the beat, yeah. Another one bites the dust.